In September 2016, a quiet Chinese entrepreneur named Zhang Yiming made a decision that would reshape global media forever. He had already built ByteDance into China's most valuable startup, worth over $20 billion. But Zhang wasn't satisfied dominating just one market. He acquired Musical.ly for nearly $1 billion, the largest acquisition of a Chinese company purchasing an American social media platform. This wasn't just another tech acquisition. This was the opening move in what would become the most dramatic corporate survival story of the digital age. Zhang merged Musical.ly with his international app TikTok, creating a platform that would eventually reach 1 billion users worldwide and trigger a geopolitical firestorm. What followed was an 8-year odyssey of explosive growth shadowed by existential threats, government bans, and a relentless fight for survival that would test whether a Chinese-owned app could truly conquer America. The foundation of TikTok's empire began with Zhang's obsession with artificial intelligence and user engagement. In 2012, he had launched Toutiao, a news aggregation app that used machine learning to curate content, proving that AI could predict what users wanted to see with frightening accuracy. This algorithm became the beating heart of everything ByteDance would build. When TikTok launched internationally in 2018, it deployed the most sophisticated recommendation engine ever created for social media. Unlike Facebook or Instagram, which relied heavily on your social connections, TikTok's algorithm studied your behavior down to the millisecond, tracking how long you watched each video, when you scrolled away, what made you like or share. Within hours of downloading the app, TikTok knew you better than you knew yourself. The algorithm didn't just show you content you liked, it showed you content you didn't even know you would like, creating an addictive feedback loop that kept users scrolling for an average of 95 minutes per day. By 2019, TikTok had been downloaded over 1.5 billion times globally, making it the most downloaded app that year and surpassing Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Snapchat combined. The American conquest began with teenagers, but TikTok's growth strategy was surgical in its precision. The company spent over $1 billion on marketing in 2018 alone, targeting users aged 16 to 24 with laser focus. They understood that capturing Gen Z meant capturing the future of social media. TikTok wasn't just another app, it was a cultural phenomenon that democratized content creation in ways that no platform had before. A 15-second dance could make someone famous overnight. A comedy sketch could reach 100 million people. The app's editing tools were so intuitive that anyone could create professional-looking content without any technical skills. By 2020, TikTok had 100 million monthly active users in the United States, with users spending more time on TikTok than on YouTube. The platform was generating over 2 billion app downloads worldwide and was valued at $140 billion, making ByteDance the world's most valuable startup. American teenagers were spending more time on TikTok than on homework, and the app was reshaping everything from music charts to fashion trends. Record labels began creating songs specifically for TikTok, with shorter hooks and more rhythmic patterns designed to go viral on the platform. But TikTok's American success story was about to collide with geopolitical reality. In 2020, as tensions between the United States and China reached new heights, President Donald Trump set his sights on TikTok. The Trump administration argued that TikTok posed a national security threat, claiming that the Chinese government could access American user data or manipulate the algorithm to spread propaganda. In July 2020, Trump announced plans to ban TikTok entirely unless it was sold to an American company. The Committee on Foreign Investment in the United States had been investigating TikTok since 2019, and the pressure was mounting. TikTok's response was swift and strategic. The company hired dozens of former U.S. government officials, spent millions on lobbying, and launched a massive public relations campaign. They emphasized that TikTok's American user data was stored on servers in Singapore and Virginia, not China, and that they had never shared data with the Chinese government. But the political winds were shifting, and TikTok found itself caught in the crossfire of the broader US-China trade war. The existential crisis reached its peak in August 2020 when Trump signed executive orders that would effectively ban TikTok from operating in the United States within 45 days. The order prohibited American companies from doing business with ByteDance, which would have made it impossible for TikTok to operate in its most important international market. TikTok's American revenue had grown to over $1 billion annually, and losing the US market would have been catastrophic. The company's response was unprecedented in Silicon Valley history. TikTok sued the Trump administration, arguing that the executive orders violated the company's constitutional rights and were based on unfounded national security concerns. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, ByteDance was negotiating potential deals with American companies. Microsoft emerged as an early suitor, followed by Oracle and Walmart. The proposed deals would have given American companies operational control over TikTok's U.S. operations while allowing ByteDance to maintain ownership of the underlying technology. The survival strategy that ultimately saved TikTok was a masterclass in corporate diplomacy and strategic patience. Rather than rushing into a fire sale, Jiang Yiming played for time. TikTok's legal challenges successfully delayed the implementation of the ban, and the company used this breathing room to build political support. They commissioned economic impact studies showing that TikTok supported over 425,000 jobs in the United States and contributed $24 billion to the American economy. The company highlighted American success stories, small businesses that had grown through TikTok marketing, and creators who had built careers on the platform. When Joe Biden won the 2020 presidential election, TikTok's situation improved dramatically. The Biden administration took a more measured approach to TikTok, focusing on data security rather than outright bans. However, the reprieve was temporary. Concerns about Chinese-owned apps persisted across both parties, and TikTok remained under intense scrutiny from regulators and lawmakers. The transformation of TikTok from a Chinese app to a global platform required unprecedented transparency and localization efforts. In 2021, TikTok announced Project Texas, a $1.5 billion initiative to store all American user data exclusively on servers operated by Oracle within the United States. The project included hiring thousands of American employees and creating a U.S. data security team with clearance-level backgrounds. TikTok also established transparency centers in Los Angeles and Singapore, allowing regulators and researchers to examine how the algorithm worked. The company published detailed reports about content moderation, revealing that they removed over 102 million videos in the fourth quarter of 2021 alone for violating community guidelines. By 2022, TikTok employed over 7,000 people in the United States across offices in Los Angeles, New York, Seattle, and Austin. The company was generating over $4 billion in annual revenue in the United States, making it one of the fastest growing advertising platforms in American history. Major brands from Pepsi to Nike were shifting significant portions of their marketing budgets to TikTok, recognizing its unique ability to reach younger demographics. The final phase of TikTok's American conquest came through cultural integration and economic entrenchment. By 2023, TikTok had over 150 million monthly active users in the United States, representing nearly half of the American population. The platform had become essential infrastructure for American culture, influencing everything from political discourse to consumer behavior. During the COVID-19 pandemic, TikTok served as a vital source of information and entertainment for millions of Americans stuck at home. The app's influence on American politics became undeniable when TikTok users claimed credit for inflating attendance expectations for a Trump rally in Tulsa by reserving tickets they never intended to use. The platform had also become a significant economic force, with American TikTok creators earning an estimated $2 billion annually through brand partnerships, live streaming gifts, and the Creator Fund. The most successful American TikTokers like Charli D'Amelio and Addison Rae had built multi-million-dollar empires, signing deals with major entertainment companies and launching their own product lines. Despite its cultural and economic success, TikTok's survival battle was far from over. In 2023, Congress held hearings where TikTok CEO Shou Chu faced 5 hours of aggressive questioning about data security, content moderation, and Chinese government influence. Lawmakers from both parties remained skeptical of TikTok's assurances, and several states banned the app from government devices. The Biden administration continued negotiations with TikTok over data security arrangements, demanding even stricter controls on how American user data was handled. In early 2024, the House of Representatives passed legislation that would force ByteDance to sell TikTok or face a complete ban in the United States. The bill reflected growing bipartisan concern about Chinese technology companies and their access to American user data. TikTok's response was to mobilize its user base, sending push notifications that encouraged users to contact their representatives in Congress. The campaign generated thousands of phone calls to congressional offices, demonstrating TikTok's political influence and its users' loyalty to the platform. The story of TikTok's conquest of America while fighting for survival represents more than just corporate success. It's a preview of the technological Cold War that will define the next decade. Jiang Yiming built an empire by understanding that attention is the most valuable commodity in the digital age, and TikTok's algorithm became the most efficient attention extraction machine ever created. The platform proved that cultural influence could transcend national boundaries, that a Chinese app could shape American culture in ways that traditional media never could. But TikTok's journey also revealed the limits of globalization in an era of rising nationalism and technological sovereignty. The company spent billions of dollars and restructured its entire operations to address American security concerns, setting a precedent for how foreign technology companies must adapt to survive in hostile political environments. Today, TikTok remains the most downloaded app in America, generating over $10 billion in annual revenue globally and serving as the primary source of news for Americans under 30. Yet its future remains uncertain, caught between its Chinese origins and American ambitions. Jiang Yiming stepped down as ByteDance CEO in 2021, but his creation continues to evolve, adapt, and fight for survival in the most competitive and politically charged market in the world. The ultimate question isn't whether TikTok conquered America, but whether it can keep the territory it has won in an increasingly fragmented and suspicious digital world.